Bengaluru, once popularly loved as the Garden City, today supposed to be the IT capital of the country, is underwater. It's flooded, it's submerged, the people of the city are inconvenienced, and the highest taxpayers of the city have taken matters into their own hands. So where is the administration, you may ask? To answer those questions today, we're being joined by the IT-BT Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Ashwath Narayan. And we're going to take some pointed questions to him. Sir, thank you for speaking to us, sir. I'm just going to jump right into it. We're seeing today that, the situation across Bangalore, one look at the kind of visuals that are coming out from Bangalore, no one would be able to tell that this is the IT capital of the country.
Definitely, the situation is really bothering, and it has really disrupted the people's life, and it has caused a lot of inconvenience. Definitely, I agree. But you should also look into the issue of the record rainfall. Probably the record rainfall, if you look at in the past 75 to 100 years, this kind of rainfall has not been seen. It is something, historic rainfall has happened. And more so, the consecutive previous 3 years also, there was a lot of rains. The same thing has continued. If you could see this time, we didn't have any summer. There was no summer in Bangalore city. So it was continuously raining. And in all the situation...
Sir, the month of March, sir, the temperatures had gone as high as 37 degrees is, what the weather report suggests. Mr. Ashok also, in fact, had made a similar statement that Bangalore has not had a summer for 4 years almost, sir. But, that the temperatures speak otherwise.
Yeah. You can look into it not one day or 1 week or few days. See, overall, if you look at where's the gap you've seen, continuously, it has not been not of any summer. Exceptionally, temperatures, some of the days it has to increase, humidity has to come out, then only all this weather changes happens. All this is part of the nature process. So you can debate this. See, whatever I make statement is always subject to scrutiny, subject to questionability. It is not that what is not there, I am not trying to make a statement. Yes. The data itself will speak. Okay, what I am trying to tell here is the data, nothing else. Probably in this direction, what I am trying to share is not to cover up anything, not to cover up any challenges. We are here to face the challenges, but the fact remains a fact. Along with this, we are making all sincere efforts. See, what are the challenges? See, suddenly it has posed the challenges. Ever we had seen this kind of challenges? It is not something, time and again we have been seeing the same challenges in those. These are the new localities where it has been showing for the very first time. Yeah. Earlier it used to be in different valleys. Earlier it used to be in more of in Bengaluru. Today even in Bengaluru, even with this kind of record rainfall, they are able to manage. Is it not? Right. But the same here, it has shown up for the very first time, it has reflected. Definitely, we really are concerned, worried, the kind of disruption what it has caused, and we really express our concern to the people who have been affected, and we are there for them. Definitely we'll reach out. We have been reaching out. We'll continue to reach out. And our Honorable, let me make it very clear. Even yesterday night, I was along with my Honorable Chief Minister, who is also the Bangalore Development Minister, and as well as the representative of Madhevpura constituency, Mr. Arvind also was there. So Arvind Limbaunia, what he made very clear, I'll take this responsibility. I'll ensure that a futuristic Madhevpura is constructed, because this climatic change, what we are seeing now, probably it will be there for next many years, probably. That is what we anticipate. We are will be prepared. We are here to take up this challenge and ensure that next coming days, this kind of situation will not arise. Will take all the precautionary, necessary infrastructure, let it be heavy rains, challenging situation, or the encroached stormwater drain, or the flow. All possible aspects will be definitely taken up, and will ensure none of these people will be disrupted. Okay. Even what may come, will ensure that the safety, security of all the people. They can live peacefully. Let any kind of record rainfall, let it come.
You spoke about Mr. Arvind Limbavali, sir. Yesterday, we were visiting those flood-affected areas along with him, and there was a lot of public ire. The citizens were angry because it had been 3 days gone by, especially in the Bengaluru area. Just one one-off example. That's one example. There's also a video, I'm sure, sir, that that you also must have seen. With all due respect, the way that the woman in that video was, treated, or the kind of language that was meted out to her, sir, that's not something that you would expect from people whom you have voted to power, sir, as citizens.
Definitely, we are the servants of people. We are not the kings of people. We are the servants of people. Definitely, this kind of isolated incident can cause, heated argument. See, he's also been sincerely working. Not that, he has kept away, comfortably sitting around. Along with his entire team, he's in the front line. He knows what is the real challenges, the way he was presenting the entire issue. If you look at the measurement, is by qualification engineer also. Okay. Whenever I have been visiting this area, the kind of understanding what he has got really, except for that situation, whatever isolated incident, remainingly his understanding is really good. He was able to present all these facts to the Honorable Chief Minister. He was able to impress upon him to what needs to be done. So even Chief Minister has got an excellent experience since he was an irrigation minister. That's how, see, Bangalore, almost all the sluice gates of all the lakes have been sealed. See, basically these lakes are meant to be in a buffer. This buffer itself has added to the problems. Right. See, if you had maintained the water management would have been taken up properly, the sluice gate been opened. Now, once the tanks are filled, it is overflowing. If the water management, the buffering, or the lake management water management would have been given priority or understood properly, we could have really managed well. Immediately after seeing this situation, immediately CM took a decision of, putting up the sluice gate for all the lakes, so that in preempt this kind of situation, we can empty those, at least reduce the water levels. Whenever the rains, they can be captured and again release whenever there is no rain. See, simultaneously along with rain and as well as the lakes overflowing, along with that, all the water from entire Bangalore, most of the Bangalore, it flows towards this area, the Vartur Lake or the Bengaluru Lake. It is not just the rains of that particular locality. The entire Bangalore water is been overflowing. See, for example, my area or any area, if it's full, the tanks are full, where it will go? It has to overflow. It has network with each other lake. It will flow towards most of the water flows towards the Bengaluru and Vartur. So this challenge is, definitely we have understood these challenges, and this kind of situation has arisen, never ever. So except for the Mahadevpura, rest remaining, you could see there are not much of any challenges. So definitely these are the new areas, emerging areas, and we'll ensure this concern is addressed, and all of us need to unitedly, we need to work together, take care of each other, and ensure this kind of things doesn't happen, and reach out to each other.
So you are saying the lakes have not been maintained, sir. So whose responsibility? You said that the lakes network, because the lakes are breaching, because there's an overflow. You're saying the lakes could have been maintained better. So ideally, sir, who's responsible?
No. The very concept, see what happened earlier, the people used to use for farming. See, the lakes, what has happened, not only this place, across the state, the sluice gates across the state, it's been closed to not to allow people to use the water for farming. Okay. See, basically it has been used for drinking water, for the ecosystem to be maintained. Along with that, basically it is for the recharging of the groundwater. Okay. So this concept of earlier, these were the, tanks used for the irrigation and all other things. Now, whatever water has been pumped or lift irrigation been prioritized, all this lift irrigation in the Kaveri, the tribunal area, catchment area, the tribunal area, or the flow area, there are a lot of restrictions. Not to be used for the farming. Okay. So for drinking, we have been allowed. So to keeping this in mind, we have been, not allowed the sluice gate to be opened. Now, because of this challenging situation, Honorable CM has made an announcement. This will become the way forward. This will become the way forward. And already the development of all the lakes had been taken up even earlier. Now the sluice gate installation will also take place. 300 crore announcement also has been made. Whatever required money for that will be spent. Rest remaining also will be prioritized. Now stormwater drains also have been taken up. And we have been reaching out to each other. See, it is not just, one builder, one this thing. See, already tenants are there, clients are there. Who are the people occupying in this software park?
So talking about, like you rightly mentioned, talking about the builders, sir, today the biggest problem that even the government has admitted happens to be the encroachments that we are seeing, be it on the stormwater drains or otherwise, sir. While on one hand the government, the Chief Minister himself has said that we shouldn't indulge in politics at a time like this. Just yesterday, so in a span of 24 hours, there were two contradictory statements. In the morning, he's first blamed the Congress for not, for their mistakes and said that it was because they didn't maintain it that today this is the situation. And later again, he's gone on to say that we should all unite and, there shouldn't be politics over this. So who is really responsible right now for the state of affairs as far as the encroachments are concerned?
See, it is very straight case. Who are the predecessors? Who are managing? Who have not understood? See, all these things boil down to the people, even earlier predecessor also it reflects. So the reflection, the origin, everything needs to be looked at. If you want to study a case, dissect a case, you want to study a case, where, how, what happened, past, present, future. You need to look into the past also, what is the present also, what needs to be done in future also. This is a typical case study. See, discussion and debate, if it happens, if they want to reflect on us, see, this is a time where we need to work with each other, ensure the concern of the people is being very effectively addressed and mitigate. And what needs to be done at this hour, next hour, definitely we are bound by that. As a government, it's a people's government, it's not somebody's private property. We need to act responsibly. Definitely we'll act responsibly and we'll discharge and we'll show how things need to be done. Definitely we can't let the things go however it wants. Definitely we need to ensure to keep up the confidence and ensure this is the best place to live. We'll work in this direction and take it forward.
So let's talk about the BBMP. The elections have, not been held for almost 2 years. So you're talking about accountability, right? So the question boils down to whom you hold accountable when there isn't corporators to hold responsible. They are the first point of contact with the citizens. It's, of course, while we're not denying that, yes, you have been accessible, the Revenue Minister has been accessible on ground, you've been carrying out visits to flood-affected areas. The fact that the first point of contact itself, the corporators are missing, whom do the citizens, ideally reach out to in the case of an emergency is what the citizens have questioned.
See, definitely the election should be there, democratic process need to be prioritized, democratic practices should be enabled and practiced in a right spirit. Probably in this direction, we came out with a new law which was questioned, delimitation, the population has changed, the dynamics, the representation, equitable representation, the suburb of the Bangalore being overpopulated. We were working on the census of what is there in the 2011 or the 2001. So over the time now the population now still we can't stick on to 2011. They wanted more representation. So earlier we couldn't go on the census. So finally we went on the electoral rolls, depending on the people what numbers have enrolled in those different areas. So they wanted more wards to be created. So based on these aspects, we came out with a dedicated act also, exclusively for the Bangalore. Earlier we were under the Karnataka Municipality Act. Now we are having a separate BBMP Act, which is exclusively for Bangalore. All this, in this process, the for and against, they wanted in the previous act to be election to be conducted, and new act came into picture and the litigation came up. All this due process has taken place. And we are for the elections, we are for the corporators. We want them to be given an opportunity. Definitely we'll work in those directions and ensure the elections are conducted as early as possible to address this concern. And we need to empower, we need to facilitate and ensure the local bodies are much more empowered.
Now, coming back, sir, a lot of, government experts, or rather policy makers, policy experts, have expressed the fact that the Bangalore development portfolio remaining with the Chief Minister, has posed a problem to the extent that there's too much on his platter that he cannot handle at this point because of a lot of, controversies that the government also has been mired in. We've seen, sir, I mean, it is a known fact, the hijab, halal, several other issues also, which may have, of course, come up, non-existential issues which are being created possibly is what the citizens are saying. So do you somewhere feel that, at least maybe possibly handing that down or decentralizing that to some extent, maybe, things could have been taken care of better?
See, for every possible thing, For every issue, there's advantage, disadvantage. If you look at the entire issue overall, there's full of advantage only. There's small amount of disadvantage might be there. But overall, if you look at the issue, it is advantages. He's having a vast administration experience. He has been a minister for a very long time, and he knows more about these dynamics. He's a very well qualified, having international exposure, and he's been an entrepreneur, worked under many corporate companies, MNC, all possible experience. He's got 50 years of experience, if you ask me personally. When you talk about ITBT also, when you talk about any niche area, precision area, emerging area, he knows from farmer to a techie or a spaceman. Okay. Until then, he has got the experience, and more so, in chief minister, ultimately, the main nucleus or the main man in any state, it is the chief minister. When it is chaired and led by chief minister, probably it is our privilege. Then a disadvantage might be accessibility, having him every place or every possible person, reaching out, talking to him, might not happen. See, it is only in there is a big mechanism being built. There is a big mechanism being built, for the grievance or for the connect, putting it across the rows or catching the attention. Now, many ways are there. Media is there, social media is there, grievance system is there, and officers are there. See, officers, if you look at the kind of officers being employed in each ward for each possible work, there is an officer being designated.
Yes.
So it's such a big mechanism. If people are not connecting and officers are not connecting, that's also one important thing which we need to look and will ensure. And I feel personally, if the Bangalore Development Ministry has been led under the Chief Minister, is the best possible thing. Otherwise, for each and everything, imagine how many things are there,
so
how many areas are there. See, it is more not only just one department, it is interdepartmental. With my experience, I can tell you it is more to do with interdepartmental. Many departments. See, many a times, each person, it works in departments. Connecting with each other department, ensuring all the issues to be resolved, probably, I feel Bangalore has been privileged to have a chief minister as a Bangalore Development Minister is the best thing can happen. Normally, they let it go. But here is a situation, I feel personally, not to just to defend this case. I'm not talking to just to defend a case. I'm telling you with the right word, the right thought, it is the best thing it can happen is having the Chief Minister to manage and run the Bangalore Development Authority. Bangalore Development Ministry is the best thing.
So you've been a Deputy Chief Minister in the past, we've seen how responsibilities were divided with the presence of 2 or 3 Deputy Chief Ministers. But here in this case, like you mentioned, somewhere the citizens feel that with this portfolio being held, that there is too much already that the Chief Minister is tending to, that this should have been something that should have, possibly at least been maybe handed down. Now with the lack of Deputy Chief Ministers also, that there is too much already on the Chief Minister's platter.
If you ask me personally, there's nothing in the constitution of a deputy chief minister having any, except for few privileges. Few privileges, not having any security checkup or many more things, privileges. I don't think so you'll have. It's all how you work, how you do things. You get more and more opportunity. It is basically on your working. Whatever has been given also, how much we do, it is less only. So it is a continuous process of improvisation, benchmarking, improvising and catering to the people. It's a big process. We need to keep scaling. There's no end story or end gate. End wall is not there. So in this process, we need to engage ourselves. Whatever responsibility been given, we need to discharge with the right spirit and the right attitude and with the right responsibility.
Sir, now the opposition has come down hard on the government over celebrating the 1 year, Janotsava. Initially, we saw it was slated to be celebrated last month. However, owing to the communal tensions and the murder of one of your BJP workers, that was later pushed off to another date, which happens to be probably on September 8th, which is a day away. So at a time, when the entire state or when the entire city is flooded and there's so much inconvenience still being caused, we're not denying the fact that yes, the government is working, encroachments are being taken down. But having said that, is the timing of this the best time to have held it, sir?
See, this natural disaster or the natural fury, which was not expected. See, these events have been planned some time ago. Again, it was replanned. And things have started working, and the people in those regions, probably it is not nothing to do with the Bangalore region, it is to do with few regions. So which they wanted to connect and organize with the people. See, not only it is not celebration, it's not a celebration or anything like that. It is only to share whatever work has happened, two-way. It is a two-way communication for people participating with the people, connecting with the people. It's a democratic process. It's a way forward. And nothing should be looked into it exclusively in isolation. Those are the regions where they don't have much of these kind of issues. Their issues are totally different. So the event has been organized, they are planned, replanned, and they also not expected these kind of events will unfold. Since the preparation has happened, again, it will have its own cost, organizing, reorganizing. They want to go ahead with those events, let them go ahead with it. We are not, this has nothing to do with Bangalore or some other regions. This is only in the places where they have got not much issues. If issues is there, they can't go along with, organizing these kind of events. Definitely, this is something unexpected. They've been planned to connect with as per the democratic practices. It's in the right spirit, in the right thinking, which they organized.
I'll come to a question which concerns you the most, sir, the IT, BT, the entire industry. We've been reporting from those areas, from Bengaluru, from the tech parks, for almost about, a good 2 weeks now. More so, our coverage has been, for the past 3 or 4 days now since it started flooding. Residents, CEOs, in fact, employees, they all have just one concern, that that entire area has been left to be ignored. That people over there aren't being, despite paying the highest taxes today in the city, the Mahadevpura zone citizens have been left to fend for themselves. Citizen groups that have now, been formed are coming together, and they themselves have become volunteers because of no administration over there. Do you not feel somewhere that this is not going to affect the incoming IT into the city?
Yeah, definitely this has been a much troubled time, and many of the people living there are pained, affected, disrupted, inconvenience been caused. And we are the people who are our pride. See, they are our pride. They've immensely contributed through their talent, knowledge, and skill. We really respect them. We honor them. And they've got every right to express their feeling. I don't see anything wrong in their expression of their anger or their unhappiness. Definitely let them express, because this has to be received in the right way. Definitely will receive. In this direction, let me be very clear. Honorable CM personally has visited. He has visited and he has understood and he has talked to them, he has connected with them. Time and again, see, ultimately we need a lot of time along with the issue to be addressed and to set right. We have been working, establishing the metro or addressing the Silk Junction, uneasing the congestion.
3 years of governance.
No, 3. See,
and prior to that as well, one term of the Congress, but prior to that it was
land
the
acquisition,
BJP.
see, nothing works in isolation. See, land acquisition also is a big issue. It is not only one stretch. Entire stretch needs to be taken up. The land acquisition going through all the democratic process. It is not bulldozing anything. Each and every person has got a right to approach many of the forums. See, each place that they have been approaching and taking up a lot of issues, and it needs to be addressed. Definitely in this direction, we have been very serious, making things happen and taking it forward, expanding the mass transportation, public transportation system, suburban railway, are deploying the buses, highest number of buses they have been deployed in a ratio of 3 to 4 times much more than any other metro cities. So we are working and we are trying to address, we want to sort out, we want to make our HSR level, our Mahadevpura, or Koromangala, any other possible area, the better place. Definitely we are sincere in that approach and we respect their feeling. And let me make it very clear, already earlier I made many things clear. The Mahadevpura will not be the same Mahadevpura. Probably in a matter of next 1 year, before the next monsoon, we'll ensure that all the concern of the people will be very effectively addressed, will not let this kind of situation arise again. That will make, and along with this, we want to reach out to our people, the CEOs, and who have built our state, who have brought pride, and we have that, laurels. The most innovative state, best performing state.
So they have been reduced to traveling in tractors today, sir. I'm sure you've seen
that
the
is the
videos.
situation. See, situation. How else you can rescue man? You tell me, is it something, unexpected events have come up? Definitely this is a challenging. Which city has been exception? You tell me. The world best cities also face these kind of challenges. This is a time express, but we need to be united. Let us be united. Let us be united. We respect them. We don't, not that we are not ignoring, we will not ignore. Definitely, I'm telling you, this is not, been very commonly expressed. This is not a fact. We are very seriously concerned, and we are very serious about it. We are committed. You tell me which state works like this? So closely connected with the industry, respecting. We take the criticism positively.